the fuck you wanna be? Like I am what I am, I'm just saying. Homie, this is me. If only you could see, this is who I am, man. Understand? You can choose to be who the fuck you wanna be.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back. We're back with another episode. This is going to be part 2 for the advice for music managers, which I'm really enjoying right now. I'm really liking these episodes. I had some good feedback and a few responses from the first video, so that's awesome. It's exactly what they're for. And yeah, hopefully these next few episodes can give some more insight. Apologies for the lighting. This lighting's trash in this room. If I close the blinds completely, then it's just too dark, and yeah. Let's get straight into it then. So for this, obviously the first episode was more of an introduction. Just kind of wanted to cover the basics and whatnot, just kind of, intro this a little bit. Now going into the second episode, what I wanted to focus on more was the aspects of what I believe I've seen managers doing, or what I think managers tend to do or lean towards more, that I think are either an incorrect approach to certain strategies or just could be improved. So we'll start off with the first thing. This is probably the main reason I even decided to start doing these episodes. It was just kind of like the tick, because I keep seeing it recurring everywhere, across Australia, across the world. I just see it recurring, and I think it is definitely something that needs to be addressed. So diversification of an artist manager, music manager's roster when it comes to the amount of artists that they are managing. I've seen multiple managers taking on multiple artists in their roster at such early stages of their career. I mean very, very early stages of their career, where A, experience and knowledge is lacking, and B, networks and resources is lacking. When is it okay to start managing multiple artists? In my opinion, it is, yes, when you A, have that experience and knowledge. And I literally mean experience and knowledge, like years of experience and knowledge. B, the networks which can only be built through years of experience within the industry. The resources. If you don't have the resources, why would you be diversifying your roster? And capital funding as well. There's so many different reasons. There's just so many different things you need to take into consideration before taking on multiple artists. It's an interesting thing, because I feel as if there's a misperception in this industry right now, where on the music manager's side of things, it's this kind of perception where the more artists that I as a music manager am managing in my roster, the more successful I am, the more reputation I have. There's this complete misconception on that, which is, it's just completely and utterly false. Over diversifying your roster at when it's too early in your career will be a shitload more detrimental to you and your career than what you perceive it to be. This just really needs to be addressed, in my opinion. I don't think we should be, as music managers, just jumping out and grabbing as many artists as we can and trying to juggle between them all and just flexing that we have this amount of artists on the roster. Because it comes back to the initial thing that I spoke about in the first episode, which was, what is the premise of a relationship between a manager and an artist? It's based on that feel good, that energy connection, that belief. It's impossible to build that connection when you do not have the resources, you do not have the experience. How can you build that connection with a multiple array of artists when you haven't even done what you need to do for the first artist? How can artist managers expect to offer as much value to a multiple artists when they haven't even provided the maximum value for the original artist? It's just crazy to me. It's unbelievably crazy. I've been approached by a few artists throughout, the past few months, year, whatever. Of course, I've just I've been in tune on myself. I've just understood this situation from the get-go, that I am not in the position to manage multiple artists right now. It would be physically impossible for me to do that. I do not have the knowledge, I do not have the experience, I do not have the resources, I do not have the networks. Like, we're pushing so much for Jaycee right now that we haven't even reached Jaycee to a level that we're all, happy with, that we're content with. I haven't reached any level that we want to get to. How can I expect to manage multiple artists? So I've had to obviously decline all those, or just Yeah, and I've said that to multiple people. I think it's the mentality. It's that kind of like that high school popularity mentality. I truly feel like it in the industry. The more artists I manage, the cooler I am type vibe. And I think we need to reprogram that. You know, we need to switch that up, take it back to the core of it, which is the music manager's role is to add pure and utter core value and have a connection with the artist that they're managing. I really want to push that to artist managers. If you're thinking of diversifying your roster, just take a step back and just reevaluate the situation you're in. Where is your artist that you are currently managing at? Are they touring the world yet? Are you selling out like shows? Are you selling out tours? Do you know some of the top industry people within your country across the world? Like, ask yourself that question. If not, then what are you even thinking about? Like, you cannot be thinking about diversifying the portfolio. Scooter Braun, SP Projects, he's diversifying his portfolio. Because he can. Like, yeah, that's a big one for me. It's a real big one. I really want to push that to music managers, especially in Australia right now. Stop diversifying. Just triple, quadruple down on the artists you are managing and provide them with the utmost value until you can reach them to a point where everyone is happy with. That's a sustainable point within their career. Go on to a few other things. Another one is studying the game more. Now, I know this seems like it should just be pretty, self-explanatory. As a music manager, you should be very, very much studying the game 24/7. But I think it needs to be addressed more, because I don't think some music managers are doing that, and they're kind of really looking past that. So I just wanted to reiterate it to people. Music manager's role is obviously multiple things, as I explained in the last one, and many more beyond that. I could probably make another episode talking about that. But it is your duty as a music manager to stay on top of the behind the scenes situations going on within your section of the industry or whatnot. Predominantly the whole industry, but focusing down to what you can. It's just trying to the best of your ability. I'm not saying that if you're not with the know-how, if you don't know this before that happens, then you're doing a bad job. Like, the amount of times I've been late to shit, and we're uncovering shit every single day. Like, every single day I find something new. I learn about a new individual. I find an old video of that individual, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it happens every day, but it's the consistency and just knowing that you always have to be doing that to build your knowledge and your industry knowledge. Like, you have to be on top of that shit as a music manager. You have to be coming to your artist and, letting them in on all this stuff, because that's where your time goes. The artist is creating the music. This is your role. This is where you got your 18 hours every day. Like, how are you spending that time? You have to be building your knowledge. You have to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to your inside knowledge. To music managers, start studying the game more. Look at other managers who are doing well right now. Look, this is the way I do it. This is a great way of doing it. Wherever you're at, whatever industry you're in, whatever genre and whatever, find the top 5 artists that are doing it right now. Find those artists and then find their team. Find the team behind that. Every artist that is doing well right now has a team. No matter what, there's going to be some sort of support behind it, whether it's managers, publicists, booking agents, talent agencies, mentors. There's going to be people, and you're just going to have to dig. You have to dig through the socials, dig through articles. There's so many different ways. Just dig through the internet. Find these individuals and study them, watch them, even DM them. Like, ask people for help. There's nothing wrong with asking people for help. Like, DM inspirational people all the time, people that I look up to within this industry. I DM them all the time and try and get advice and try and get help and tips and tricks here and there. Never be afraid to ask. It's your job to study the game. Next one that I want to go on. This is just a section that I wanted to go in that I've spoken about for advice for artists, but I also want to speak about in advice for managers, because it needs to be understood on both sides of this. Okay, and now this is the whole premise of artists sleeping on content right now and artists lacking in their fan engagement. I just want to get this across to the music managers out there. We're in a day and age right now, this exact time period that we're in, where content is the absolute key and the utmost focus, should be the utmost focus for everything that you're doing as a content creator, as a musician, content creators, music managers. You need to be pushing your artists on content more. You need to be planning out content calendars more. You need to be figuring out how can we maximize our content, whether it's songs, clips, photos, vlogs, TV series, mini series on your artists, interviews. Like, there's so many things, but it's just lacking at an unbelievable scale right now, especially in this country. And I'll keep saying that. People just aren't willing to accept that and change right now. And for me, it's very, very frustrating. It's because it is everything that Australia needs right now is more content. Just an unbelievable amount of more content. And yes, I get it has to come organically, but it needs to be pushed. So upcoming managers, current managers, start planning. Make your main focus content right now. Doubling down on that. Doubling down on the content. And then going into, this is just like my biggest key for marketing strategies. Not even marketing strategies, just overall strategies in general. Fan engagement. Alright, this is something that is very, very alarming that I keep seeing right now, is artists' lack of engagement with their fans. It's very alarming because it's building this image, this idea around artists within the industry right now. I mean, I can't wrap my head around it. I mean, I can only come up with a few, ideas of why artists would not be engaging with their fans, whether it's, replying to comments, replying to DMs, communicating to the fans, whether it's live streams, doing competitions, giveaways, just making their main top priority to always giving back to the fans. I don't know. I feel like there's an illusion of this branding thing, which is this retarded concept that I know a lot of people are like focusing on right now. That's the only thing I can think of, because it just makes no sense. It's just this perception that I think artists are trying to give off. You need to get it across to your artists, and you need to understand it as well as a music manager, that none of this works, this profession, none of this works without the fans. None of it is ever possible without the fans. Like, that's all I needed to have to say. That's all I should have to say for you to understand that. For you as a music manager to understand that, and for you to get it across to your artist. Because I just think people are looking past that. You can't. How can you be a professional musician? How can you be a professional artist without supporters? The people who are making that possible, the people who are appreciating your work, putting time and energy out of their day and money in some cases, whether it's, tickets to shows and, merch and stuff like that. They're putting in that energy and time towards you. You have to be recognizing that. You have to be appreciating that. You have to be focusing your energy on that and giving that love back. I've made a video about this with The Rock, talking about the ones in the seats, which is his interpretation of this as a movie star and an actor, which is the exact same concept, because none of that's possible without people viewing and supporting the actors and whatnot. It's the same thing. And Drake actually spoke about it. Was it the Billboard Awards speech or the Grammy speech? One of his speeches, recently, maybe like a couple months ago. And he spoke about the fact that artists just need to be grateful that if there are just people coming out on any day to come buy a ticket to one of your shows, then you're successful. If there are people that are singing lyrics from your songs, then you are successful. Like, that is the only thing you need. That should be your measurement of success of an artist, is the support, the fan engagement. So I really, really, really need to push that, because it's being slept on. It's very sad to see. Yeah, those are a lot of the main things that I just wanted to cover right now, today in this episode. But also another little thing is, this is just pretty, once again, it seems self-explanatory, but sometimes just needs to be, reiterated and set across. And for me, it's just music managers. You need to be on top of the positive energy, the manifestation side of things, the motivation. And this is like for yourself and your team, but also, with your artists, you need to be always providing that positive value and that optimism. Timekeeping. You need to be on top of timekeeping. I see a lack of time management with a lot of artists. Stay on top of that. And just last but not least, just unbelievable work ethic. You gotta be putting in the work. This is for every team member and every business, every entrepreneur ever. As a music manager, you gotta be having that unbelievable work ethic. You have to be putting in You have to be putting in the hours. Everyone has the same amount of time every day. It's just how everyone uses it. And it's just that, like, these are all repetitive things, but how hard are you working? How much time and effort are you putting in to your artists and to the vision? It's just as simple as that. Like, do you think someone's working harder than you out there? If so, then you need to be working harder. Like, simple as that. But yeah, that pretty much covers the few things I wanted to chat about. There's are real big things. I'm real big on everything I just spoke about, and I really just want to get those points across, get those out there to music managers across the country right now. We just need to rewire a few things. I feel like we need to reevaluate how we're tackling things, how we're dealing with situations, and how we're working with our artists. So I really hope that helps. I really hope that gives some individuals some insights. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit me up in the DMs, drop a comment. If there's anything you want me to cover, if there's things that you think I missed in there that I should add into another video, please let me know. I'd love to be able to make more content on that, and have some other ideas from other people. So thanks guys, appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on part 3 for advice for managers. Cheers.
Monday come around, she on a calm down, but she told me she never popped a pill. I should never trust her. Fuck it, she's a